So, guys, if you like what you're seeing here, with all the crazy hiccups and technical difficulties and whatnot, we're hosting free tournaments every week for basically all skill levels. So while this is going on here with the Warchief Club and the high level players, we're also having the low elo legends with three brackets going from, bronze, silver around that, all the way up to Conqueror 1. Um, and it's free tournaments. You can win a little bit of money. You can win even coaching with Myriad and two of our admins, Askeladd and Draxos. Um, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a great time to to spend your Saturday, afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time zone you live in.
The coaching is extremely valuable. As some of you may have heard, I had some coaching from Myriad, and he is very good at finding those minor inefficiencies, those little details of your playstyle that can be corrected, that make a huge difference. Like I said, I was hard stuck in Diamond, and now I'm, battling with the Conquerors, just from little tweaks that Myriad was quickly able to identify. So the coaching, absolutely valuable, but the Rising Empires team, they're no slouches. A lot of them are Conqueror level players themselves and very good at coaching. Askeladd is a random enjoyer, which means he can basically play every civ at a really good level.
Yeah, I think
So
I
a
think
lot
that's
of
fair
great
to say.
options.
That is
So
fair to say.
they're still going through the drafting process. I have the map draft up. I don't know if you want to. I'm not seeing the Civ drafts yet.
Yeah,
Looks like they're kind of,
they are still in Civ draft.
yeah, they're still kind of working through that. But maps is kind of interesting. So we haven't seen a couple of these maps today, but so the bans on SAS' side were Four Lakes, Badlands. We haven't seen Badlands today. On Myriad's side, which I find very interesting, he banned Lakeside, which is a current ranked map. Maybe he's not enjoying it. And Golden Heights, which is also a current ranked map. So we're getting Pigeon's View, Dry Arabia, and Rocky River.
Yeah, so I just actually switched back to the draft, so we'll see what the players are drafting live here. So SAS already picked French and Rules, so and on the other side we have Juicy as well. So very strong civs coming through for both players. So very nice.
Yeah, so bans here, not entirely surprising. HRE, Roos were in the ban pool. Delhi, that's the first time we've seen it there today. And
Hmm.
SAS taking Malians, which Malians is a very strong civ. Ooh, what's Myriad gonna take here? Probably Byzantines, I would say. He can go Byzantines. He could probably go Japanese. Just looking back at this. Okay, so he went Byzantines. That's what I thought he was going to do. That makes the most sense. You got to kind of look at the maps and realize that Byzantines is going to be pretty good on the maps that they've sort of picked here. There's no hybrid, so I don't think we'll see Japanese. Um, Japanese could kind of be played on Rocky River, but I don't think too many. And Chinese, ooh, that's a really strong draft from Myriad.
Yeah, the draft is really
SAS,
good.
this last pick, Order of the Dragon, right? I think Order of the Dragon is a well-rounded civ. Oh, Mongols, there we go.
There you go.
Look at that.
I was not gonna say it, but yeah, Mongols was still open. So that definitely was an option. So there we have it, folks. So Rus, French, Malians, and Mongols on Sas's side, and Jussi's Legacy, Jeanne D'Arc, Byzantines, and Chinese on Myriad's side. So overall, very strong draft, especially the beginning phase. Like with Rus and Jussi, arguably two of the strongest civs right now, especially considering the Pro Scout meta. French Jeanne d'Arc also going in the same direction, also very strong. Marlins can do a very strong Pro Scout as well. Byzantines not so much, but they have a lot of other things in their up their sleeve. And then Chinese obviously also Pro Scouts and Mongols. They're just Mongols. What can I say?
Yeah, listen, Rocky River is actually a fairly good Mongol map. You get those neutral trade posts that are, I don't want to say completely safe, but they're, you can always get the full trade line with it, right? You're not getting half trade or quarter trade. So I can see SAS kind of going either French or Mongols. Rocky River, you spawn so close to the edge of the map, it's considered to be a little bit more turtly than, say, Dry Arabia. It's a little harder to play infantry on Rocky River just due to the distance between your base and their base. Not saying you can't be done, but having the cavalry, having the mobility on that map is certainly advantageous to you. So I can see SAS going with Mongols or French. I think, and they're drafting that right now, so we'll know in a minute or two. On Myriad's side, he can really pick any of those civs. All those civs are going to play on Rocky River really well. I almost feel like he's going to maybe save Zushi for, in case his back is against the wall. If you lose game one, you can bring Zushi out. China plays pretty good on Rocky River. So does Byzantines, and so does JD. Byzantines can be played infantry, but he who shall not be named came up with a nice Gulp build, so that could work on Rocky River. So I honestly don't know. What do you think Myriad's gonna go with? And don't cheat.
Oh, okay. Well, that was 1 second too late because I was just tapping through my tabs in my browser, and I just happened to go to the one where they just picked the Civ. So I'm gonna out on a limb and say SAS might be playing French against
Okay.
potentially Juicy's Legacy, but we'll have to find out. Oh, there it is. Wow, what a surprise.
Wow.
Wow.
Shocker, shocker. Okay, I thought Myriad would hold Zushi's legacy back, but he wants to come out with what is probably the stronger civ. Um, French is really good here. Pro scouts on this map, you have all those deer that sort of spawn in the middle there, so I definitely think we're gonna get some pro scout shenanigans when this starts up.
Yeah, definitely could be. Let's see. I'll refresh the browser here. Also, by the way, Valdemar versus Gullidecker, they already started just like 2 minutes ago, so they've been faster. But unfortunately, this is
I'm a-okay waiting. SAS versus Myriad is a tale as old as time. It's sort of like your French English from the early seasons. Both players
mhm.
know each other. They've played against each other a lot. There's no secrets here. So, the question now is, do we have observer delay or not?
We'll likely have a little bit of observer delay. We're gonna find out in just a couple seconds, and yeah, I'm also excited to see Juicy against French in general. So 1.5 minutes. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's switch it over. Um, so yeah, not with a massive delay here. After the other semifinals, so we are going to go into the best of three semifinals. SAS against Myriad, Juicy's Legacy against French, Green against Blue. What more could you wish for?
Yeah, this is gonna be a matchup that's all about the knights. Obviously, French is going to have the knights first, but Zushi's Legacy has a really clean castle age timing, especially in the Pro Scouts meta. We say that word a lot today. I wonder if it's popular, Pro Scouts. Anyway, and they can quickly fast castle due to their lower cost age ups available to them due to their dynasty system. So they could quickly outmass French in terms of knights or outclass French in terms of knights in Castle Age for a short period. Once Royal Bloodlines comes in, the battle will kind of switch up a little bit. But what is it? I believe it's called Dahlia Horses that Zushi's Legacy gets, where the
Yeah, sure.
knights have a 20% attack speed boost.
Yeah, I think it's Daddy Horses. Yeah, I believe something like that, something
So,
along those lines.
so yeah, once Royal Bloodlines comes in, it's not all French's advantage, but I think Zushi's Legacy just has some really good tempo, some really good timings that are going to be difficult for French to kind of handle in the early going of this.
Yeah, let's pause it real quick for the game to catch up. And it's also gonna be the first time we're gonna see Rocky River today. So we've basically only seen Dry Arabia, Four Lakes, and now Rocky River in the draft. And so SAS in blue, French on the left side of the map against Myriad. who yeah, just as classic juicy things, supervised mill, a little bit off the town center. I think it's always tricky to figure out like where to build it, because sometimes your villagers will still go over to the town center even though it's right there. It's yeah, so you have to place it a little bit away from your town center. Make sure that they actually drop it off here and not like over there.
And
Village and then on gold, so nothing too crazy here.
yeah, and I kind of look around the spawn that Myriad has, and I'm almost wondering, he's got this double stone he'll probably scout before he puts down his meditation gardens.
Mm.
I know it doesn't help him towards the fast castle aspect, but if he was to kind of put his meditation gardens over on this wood double stone, it kind of plays well for how the second phase of the game might go, where
Mm-hmm.
both players add in a second town center. I think looking at this, that might be the best meditation gardens. I could be wrong because you usually want to get food and gold with it, but I
Yeah,
don't think he can get his starting gold and his starting berries in the same meditation gardens.
well, starting gold and berries, I think that would be possible, or that's definitely possible because you can just place it like here next to the wood line, and then you also cover the gold just like slightly. And so you can either place it forward, have the small wood line here with those like, I don't know, 20, 30 trees, then you have the food, and then you have also the gold. Or he could go for the stone wood line, double wood line berries on the right side. But other than that, he actually doesn't have too many great options here for the meditation gardens. I mean, there's another gold on the left side, but there's no food over here. And then on the like closer to the little like lakes here, Rocky River, there's another gold berry section, but not really. Well, I guess you could have double berries and gold as well, but then it's like super exposed, so don't think that's the choice. It is gonna be here in the middle. If we switch it over, yeah, you can see all the berries inside the range. Most of the trees. He actually could have gone a little bit further around ahead. And then we also have the gold, of course, being inside.
Okay,
So
so that radius is a little bit bigger. I myself am not a Zushi player, so yeah, he's going to get all the berries, he's going to get all the gold. So that's in keeping with kind of the fast castle meta where you need food, you need gold. I kind of look at the double stone and just
yeah,
it's hard to pass up on that.
it is, but at the same time, it's like it's good for the emplacements, but until you wanna go for the keeps, it doesn't really help you otherwise. Unless you're gonna, yeah, if you're gonna go for a couple more town centers, then yes. But it's always a little bit. Maybe it helps you, maybe it doesn't. And so it makes sense to have the food gold option, and then wood is. It's always good to have wood, right? I mean, can't say no
Yeah,
to that.
I don't think there was a right answer here. It
Hmm?
was just a preference, you know.
Yeah.
And clearly, Myriad is going towards the fast castle. Kind of looking at SAS's spawn though. I do like SAS's spawn. He's got that sort of pseudo back gold, couple quick walls, and we won't have to worry about raids. Uh, Forward berries, but this is still very comfortable if you're a French player. It's easy to wall. You don't have to worry too much, especially if you're pro scouting about exposing your villagers in the early game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's if you're looking at where the gold otherwise could have been like, it could have been a lot worse. And so definitely a good spot. I mean, if you switch it over, and Myriad's gold is like way exposed. Same for the berries. So overall, SAS should be happy with the spawn. Slowly but surely attacking the meditation gardens here. Which the damage is not that the interesting point here, but rather that you do get a decreased, rate at which resources are generated. So it's always nice to have some units inside that area, um, if you're the opponent, So that just, takes down just a little bit. Usually it's 25, and so it should go up now to 25 after a couple seconds. Um,
Yeah, great
there
job
it is.
scouting by Myriad there. He had his scout in front of Sas's base. He saw the first knight. He knew the timing of the first knight. He got his barracks down in time. So he's not losing any villagers on his gold. He pulled his villagers off. all his resource or all his economy units are relatively safe, and you know he's getting spears up to help defend some of his pro scouts. And Myriad is just a master at this, kind of being able to drop the deer and not lose a scout, except in
No.
that case where he loses a scout.
You mean this scout?
Yeah, usually he's pretty good at that. But spears are going to come in. They're going to allow him to continue to pro scout. SAS, on the other hand, his pro scouts is going to be in just a few seconds here, and he's going to start stealing deer. And when I look at the spawn throughout the middle, I have to say, advantage Myriad. All
Yeah.
the deer sort of seem to be closer to Myriad. I'm talking about just the middle spawn, the 3 packs.
Yeah,
Definitely seem to kind of favor him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean overall the smaller deer packs they're like, located like around the river here, which you know makes sense. I mean, where would the deer be? They would usually be around water, right? So in nature, and I think you jinxed Myriad pretty hard with like, man, he's so good at saving his scouts, and then we switch over, and he just loses 2 scouts to a knight. So, uh, yeah, you did him dirty there, but
My
he will
bad,
still
man.
be
My
he will
bad.
still be fine. And yeah, we kind of missed actually like at least we didn't talk about that both players were just while we were talking about meditation gardens and all that, they were going for the pro scouts. Both players another scout losing their life, but also getting some nice damage onto the knight. So SAS needs to be careful here. Spearman will be able to very effectively deal with the scout as long as it has a deer carcass on top. So who's winning the deer game right now? Is it SAS? Because he's gathering a lot of deer. He has 6 scouts right now, so more than Myriad.
It is SAS because of the mobility advantage. SAS
Right.
has knights, so he can just run away from the spears, wheel around, and attack Myriad's scouts. Whereas Myriad, you know, his spearmen will get there eventually.
Eventually, yeah, very eventually.
So now we have the worst timed tower ever at Myriad's base
Uh,
coming up. And Knight does get a burn off, so Myriad's not going to want to cancel that. And this is going to be a little tricky for Myriad to kind of time. Knight's still there. He needs to get a couple spearmen. Spearmen are coming back. This tower's going to be able to get up here.
What is it
but
though? That's the question. We have a couple of archers coming into the mix here as well, and they can also, like, they don't have a charge lance attack, but they also do quite a lot of damage, especially to spearmen, but also to villagers. So SAS doing the perfect thing here with countering the spearmen. You know, it's a classic thing. You go for knights, your opponent goes for spearmen, you go for archers, and then yeah, Myriad does have the option for horsemen, and he could, if he wanted to, potentially contest that now and probably destroy all those units here, but difficult to move out here for now. And he still has the passive income. If he's not looking for a fast castle play, he is fine with not necessarily having access to gold at the moment. And he's actually moving
here
in
come
now.
yeah, these archers aren't going to be able to get away from this horseman. This is the classic horseman spear beats knight archer, and that's only because the horsemen have more mobility and they can take out the archers. Knights will be able to get away free and clear, but not the archers. So Myriad is going to take back a little bit of map control, but you know what? Not after SAS sort of cleared out the whole northeast side of the deer right there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he did get the map control back, and he is also able to get one of the knights. That's a very good catch here. But in the meantime, the deer in the middle, they have already been gathered, and so it's, yeah, timing-wise, it's still fine for SAS, even though he lost a little bit here. But he achieved what he wanted to. He did get some idle time here. Didn't get a villager kill here. That was close, but just a lot of idle time and eco damage in that regard.
So Myriad can now go for SAS's main deer pack all the way in the north corner now that he has map control.
I hope he does that. He has scouted that out, so he didn't scout that part, but there's no deer anyway. SAS trying to move around here, but will not find anything here. The wall has been already completed. So Myriad's base yeah, also fairly easy to wall that off, and so Knights will not necessarily find something here. Will find another deer kill, or not deer kill, scout kill.
Ooh, one knight's gonna go down in Myriad's base, full garrison. Spears just kind of doing a lot of damage to these knights. Knights have to turn away.
Kind of doing a lot of damage. That's the point in having spearmen. Meanwhile, he is. Ooh, that was a good connect here, and good turning around here by Myriad, getting another knight kill. That poor horse. It's trying to get up again and gives up. Rest in peace.
Out in the middle, and there you go. Myriad drops the deer carcass, runs away with the scout. Horsemen come over, and Myriad's able to pick it right back up.
But there's a
SAS
boar.
with the boar pull.
The boar
That was
pull.
well played by SAS. Myriad's just gonna run away. He doesn't want to kill the boar just yet.
At the same time, luckily for Myriad, nothing too crazy has happened here. He's just able to run away, and SAS losing another scout. He's down to 4 scouts now, which in general is still fine, but not if you still want to scatter all the deer here. So there's still 7 deer to be had on that side. All those small ones in the middle, except for these 2, have been those 2 have been collected already.
This is the critical timing I was talking about. Shaolin Monastery coming up for Myriad. He's going to be able to supervise stables, and he's going to be able to pump out Castle Age Lancers. Oof. Meanwhile, SAS, he does have 10, 2 more in the queue of his own knights, but Myriad's going to be able to quickly equalize those numbers. With all the deer carcasses that are at that mill, Myriad can pump knights, and SAS will not have a great answer except for his own spearmen for quite some time, and you can kind of see SAS walling up, wants to be able to kind of zone Myriad's knights that he knows are coming. And let's see if Myriad is supervising. He is not supervising the stables just yet. He's collecting taxes. But this is where Zhu Shi is going to kind of be in overdrive for a short period. Nice little scrimmage over here by Myriad, kind of forcing SAS's knights away, able to pick up some more of his deer, and the first Lancer makes its way over to SAS's base, and these archers, they're just tickling it. They're not doing much of anything.
Not too much, no. And so, I mean, you mentioned that SAS doesn't really have a good answer against the Lancers, except for Spearmen, but as we all know, French cannot build Spearmen, so that's gonna be a tough time for him.
Yeah, SAS is getting up to Castle Age, and he'll be able to kind of equalize a little bit here. Myriad, though, getting those Shaolin monks in, gonna start collecting relics. And I think Myriad has a good timing window here that he could really kind of hit and do some damage to SAS. But Myriad spears are going to get caught out here.
Yeah, so yeah, he needs to be careful here with all the archers. He was gonna lose all of those spearmen. He might be able to get one more kill, maybe? No, okay. But there's the Lancers on top of the archers, so it's just gonna reverse now until the Royal Knights can kick in here as well. So Guildhall is coming up for SAS, and so that's gonna help him quite a lot with his eco, not with the Royal Bloodlines obviously, so he's not opting for that, but rather for a more safe economy.
SAS needs to be careful here. He doesn't have veterancy. Guildhall still 45 seconds away. These Lancers just superior. He's gonna lose all his archers here.
Yeah, he does
Not
have.
that he really needs them anymore.
Well, I mean, you still don't want to throw it away, and so he did have the superior numbers, but yeah, it's the Castle Age Lancers, and they're doing a lot better than the Feudal Age Royal Knights, and so we'll save a couple of those archers still if they can make it out alive here. And the Royal Knights coming back into the action here, and yeah, just losing one more knight in favor for the archers here.
Yeah, and this is the purpose of walls here, right? These walls are going to buy SAS just enough time. You're going to start seeing some Arbaletiers coming out. And Veterancy gonna come in. Good charge there from SAS. Myriad, undeterred, is pushing through with his Lancers, trying to get as much value while he has the tech advantage as he can.
And he doesn't have by now, so we do have Veteran Royal Knights now. The upgrade was just completed a couple seconds ago. And so it might be that Myriad is actually just sacrificing all of those Lancers just to get some more time that he needs to pick up the relics. He does have 2 relics right now. There's still 3 more on the field, so doesn't have them picked up as of yet. He is on the way though. Shaolin Monk trying to pick up 1 more relic here. And there the Lancers come back in. So Myriad is retreating for the time being, is not gonna look for a lot more damage, and it's just rather focusing on the relics. He picked up 1 more on the right side, so he will be up to 3. I hope the devs fix the DUI at some point, that the Shaolin monks actually, you know, like it shows that they're carrying a relic, because it doesn't do that right now.
Yeah, I'm a little curious. Myriad has a villager that is desperately running away from 7 of Sassy's knights, and these knights are just gonna run that villager down, but I just want to know what that villager was doing over there.
No! Okay, well,
that's a massacre.
Ooh, that was not necessary. Like, oh, you didn't have to do it with all of those knights, but yeah, I don't know what he did actually. Like, it doesn't look like Myriad tried to build anything. Not sure though.
Yeah, he's also got 1 villager in the south there. Just a little curious. I know the villagers right next to those knights, they don't realize how close they are to danger. But we have a little scrimmage going at Sass's base, and you have 6 Arbaletiers on the other side of that wall, and they're doing a lot of damage to these Lancers.
Yeah, the archers were tickling, and they're doing more than tickling, that's for sure. And I don't know if you actually wanna, you know, like go in like that as Myriad. I feel like he is risking to throw away the lead that he had. Especially against the Arbaletiers. I mean, like, yes, as long as you're on top of them, you can still kill them fairly easily. But now we have the Royal Knights coming back into the action, and Myriad is gonna lose all of the Lancers here.
Yeah, he absolutely is, and I have to wonder, was that worth it? And I'm not sure it was. I guess he was able to pull Sassy's knights back that were raiding and harassing his eco, but it cost him his entire military, and now Sass has not only the ability to get map control back, but he has the military advantage, so it's a little bit of a dangerous place for Myriad.
Yeah, and I mean, yes, it may have bought him a little bit of time, but at the same time, he did lose all his Lancers, and Sass's Lancers are still there, so I don't think that was actually something that he wanted to achieve here. And now Sass is finding the villagers, they need to run. Tower has not been constructed as of yet. 2 health Lancer here, 1 more fart in his direction, and he's
gonna need
die.
a Wololo. He's gonna need a Wololo, otherwise he's
yeah,
gonna lose a lot of villagers.
We might see the Wololo coming up here, and so close. Okay, Sass is able to get out alive. No surround here possible for Myriad, just doesn't have the numbers now. Villagers on the run, a couple kills here. Sass up to 8 villager kills. Compared to 4 on Myriad's side, so I think that was actually not the greatest call to lose your Lancers in your opponent's base without dealing a significant amount of eco damage.
But Myriad was able to keep himself in the game, not losing a lot of villagers, but getting kicked off the boar, which is gonna hurt. Myriad has all 5 relics, so he's absolutely in this game still, but now he's got to figure out what's he going to do for food. You see sort of a mass migration, 29 villagers moving over to the east side to that 1 berry patch. That's not going to sustain his economy for long.
Nah, I mean, it's nice, but that's like, what, 1,500 food maybe? So, that's like 5 nights, and that's basically it. So, I mean, he can, you know, like set up a wall here, yeah, which he does right now, and then this is a nice spot for your farm transition, your granaries. So we will see that fairly soon. And once that is in place, it could, yeah, I would say it would look fine for Myriad, but he is way behind in eco in villages, in part because of the faster villager production of the French, and he doesn't have that as you see.
Yeah. Yeah, and so now you see Myriad transitioning to the second phase of this game, which is what I was alluding to at the start of this cast, where having the meditation gardens on double stone there would have been beneficial. He could have had his second TC, he could have had some keeps by now, but Sassy knows that Myriad is starving, and he's scouted the map, he knows where the food is. Food on this map is kind of scarce, so he's harassing that berry pack all the way in the east, and there's not a lot Myriad can do right now to stop it. He's got enough crossbows, but his army is small. If SAS wants to attack this point, SAS could, and SAS could win.
Yeah, I think if they wanted to go toe to toe, I think SAS currently has the stronger military, a lot of arbitraries, so they can clean out Myriad's army relatively fast. Myriad doesn't have any lancers anymore. He only went for horsemen, crossbows himself. So overall, a good composition against French, but yeah, it could be tough. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Myriad's going for a second TC. He's got 4 on a supervised stone outcropping, and SAS is on stone. He's starting his farm transition. I think SAS's stone is more for just more keeps.
Yeah, most likely, because that would also provide him with a lot of discount on his production. And so it's also, in a sense, it's an eco bonus that he'll gladly take. Good raid here by Myriad on the board himself, so not letting SAS have too much of that. Will lose to Horsemen, but that's still a worthwhile trade. And there we see the first keep coming up by SAS, securing the boar, securing the wood line, the gold, and yeah, almost as well the stone, which is another, 2.5 keeps.
Yeah, so Myriad just got his second town center down. He's starting his granary transition, so I don't think he's going to be looking for too many fights. He's going to try to, delay and keep SAS off these sacred sites for as long as possible. Unfortunately, SAS has a really good Red Palace timing. His guild hall is a 2340 food. He can pop that now, and in less than 60 seconds, he can be putting down a Red Palace, royal bloodlines, and go in for the kill. And I think Myriad might be a little just awkwardly caught off guard if SAS does that.
Yeah, I agree. I was looking at the resources the last 2 minutes, and it looked awfully close to Imperial Age. And this is the moment where you like to have the guild hall. I mean, the Royal Institute is great, but I personally like the guild hall for that fact, is that you can just switch over to one of the resources. Look at the food now. He was at 1,000 food now. He's at 4,000, so he's like he got more than 2,000 food out of it. Is switching now to gold just to be safe, to have enough gold for the late game, and he could easily go up to Imperial Age any second now.
Yeah. Question is, where's the Red Palace going? I think SAS wants to put it on this middle sacred site here. It's a nice centralized position. But Myriad, for now, is able to kind of control that spot. So SAS is going to take a little bit more of a softer approach. Red Palace is going to go directly in front of his base. 17 villagers on it. This thing is going to go up very, very quickly. How does Myriad respond to this, right? He's trying to scale his eco. He's trying to do his granary transition. He's got 2 TCs. Is he just gonna fight down tech? Feels bad for some time, or where does Myriad go?
It does feel bad, but at the same time, I think he will be forced to do that, and can just hope that while his eco will, slowly getting ahead, that he can hopefully win fights by just having the better counter to SAS's army, with the crossbows countering the knights and with the horsemen countering the arbalètriers. Because I don't see it. Like, if you're looking at the eco here with 1k food income per minute and 600 gold per minute, like, he would have to stop everything that he's doing right now for at least 2 minutes, and then he would be able to hit Imperial Age, which by that time you have an Imperial French with, you know, yeah, 30 horsemen, 20 hourly trees, a couple of knights.
Look at that north corner. Sassy's on 2 TCs. Myriad isn't going to scale as well as he wants.
No, nope, nope, nope. And we also have a couple of markets on the way here as well for SAS, so he could even go for trade, which on that map, you know, it's a fairly good position for a trade. So we could even see French trade coming up here if he feels the need to scale. And by the way, I mean, I was mentioning, you know, with the crossbows countering the Royal Knights, like there's hardly any Royal Knights anyway. So the question is, how good are the crossbows actually gonna be? Like, SAS running into that army, that was that was nasty of beasts. I tried to.
Yeah, that is a
I'm
tough
not good at puns.
to fight into. But real quickly, I'm kind of seeing SAS's plan here. He's going to raid, he's going to harass, he wants to keep, you know, Myriad in his base. Horseman Knight kind of over here on this granary transition, and I think Myriad could just stonewall this and Horsemen break through.
Yeah, he could have stonewalled that. Now the Horsemen are in. So many villagers are on the run. That's easily like 30-40 villages, I believe. You know, with the woodline and everything, and Horse were just running around trying to find some damage there. 18, 19, 20 dead villagers by now, so SAS looking very strong here. Just all those idle villagers. This must feel so bad for Myriad right now, and just so quickly how they got through the palisade wall, and now they're just in the base and wreaking havoc here and there. And meanwhile, SAS's economy is still scaling. He's getting all the imp upgrades, and once he has that, he can just do the same thing, but with stronger units, or maybe gets you know, grab some siege and just try the same thing.
Oh, Horsemen up front diving on the nest of bees and the crossbows. Myriad might lose a lot of it here.
Yeah, I think
one nest of bees is going to go down. 2. Myriad's going to lose a lot of these crossbows to Horsemen, and Myriad's just trying to put out fires all over the place. SAS feels very much in control right now.
Yeah, indeed. I think SAS is in a very good position right now. He had a very successful raid in the back, a lot of idle time, a lot of villager kills, 25. And now Myriad is scrambling to get back onto the fields, you know, onto the farms rather. And is way behind in eco, just because there's, yeah, SAS is also on 2 town centers, so he doesn't really mind Myriad being on 2 TCs. Yes, Myriad still has the 5 relics going for him, so that is nice, but he's full of so many resources, he can't really do anything right now with that.
Yeah, Myriad needs to delay, needs to buy time, and he needs to get his own Imperial, and I think he knows that. You look at his macro, he's macroing towards that right now. Once he kinda can get to Imperial, I think he'll be in a pretty okay spot despite the villager difference. And look at that, that is a stone wall. I knew that was coming. You don't often see these, but Myriad is basically saying, hey, my granaries, they're off limits.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to go here. But SAS goes, alright, you block off one wall, I'm gonna find another way in. And that's what Horsemen are so good at, is their high mobility. And they're hard to hunt down and hard to track, and you know, they don't do a lot of damage, but they're annoying.
They're super annoying, and over time they will still do all the damage that you need. And he does find a way in, and is now again onto the farms, onto the mill here. Is also getting some very valuable intel here with, you know, the stone being mined, and that's not only because Myriad wants to have that space for farms. It's also because he loves to have that stone. To potentially drop a keep somewhere, you know, maybe to protect another goal that he lost access to just short time ago.
Sassy does find Myriad putting up the stone wall, sort of left side, west, southwest, south mid map, but able to move over and kind of defend it. This is exactly what Myriad needs to do if he wants to win this game. He just needs to kind of stall and delay, because if he can take this to the late game with Zushi's library coming up, I think Myriad will be in a better position. He'll have 5 relics, he'll have his granary transition done, and I think his economy will be able to sort of outlast the French economy.
Yeah, overall, if you're going super late game, I think Juicy is in a very good position with the granaries, for example, as well. Like, this is a very strong food source, and the French don't have something like that. So this is, the longer the game goes, it should be better and better for Myriad, but at the same time, we're looking at an equal difference here, 122 against 74. French is trading, 72 gold per trade. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's really good. Where's the university, though? Because the French have an upgrade where they generate 1 gold every 6 seconds per trader. And that can be a difference maker.
Yeah, and they do have that already. So we just saw the, here's the 1 gold per every 6 seconds trickling in here. And that is on top of the 72. So I guess overall you're probably close to 90 or 100 gold per trader per route, I would say.
Yeah. This is quickly unraveling for Myriad. You got another raid over at the granary. Meanwhile, a fight over at the stone wall he's trying to get. Myriad's going to win the fight at the stone wall, but he's got no military responding to this granary right now. Spear's going to come over and be able to kind of poke here, but I mean, Myriad's eco is just in a much better place.
Yeah, another 2 villagers dead. So I mean, yeah, the horsemen, they don't do a ton of damage, but still 16 damage. You have 2 armor, so it is 14 damage per hit by the horsemen. So overall, you just need a couple pokes, and then they also die. And so that is such a 62. Oh my goodness, make it stop! So many dead villagers
Myriad,
here.
He has a 3rd town center. But Myriad's gonna have another problem. He has 5 relics, so gold isn't gonna be like the biggest concern right away, but eventually it's gonna be a concern, and he's trying to desperately wall off the last parts of his map here. But it's not looking great for Myriad. The only advantage he has right now is a military advantage.
Yeah, but even that, I don't know if there's an UI glitch again, but if you're looking at the army value, it's looking very good for SAS. I mean, yeah, granted it's 4 royal cannons as well, so they might not do a whole lot in like a regular fight, but they also kill units quite fast, so I wouldn't I wouldn't count them out. Very much in favor here, army-wise, for SAS still. Having the more expensive units, a couple of hand cannoneers as well. Aber the Tray is obviously super strong as well. And then just, 3 more archers, a few lage archers, just for good measure, I guess.
Yeah, SAS now trying to push up the middle, but Myriad's army is there waiting for him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if SAS can take that fight right away, but he absolutely
needs to take these horsemen. He needs them in the fight here. We have a big fight coming up here in the middle. Royal cannons on the way, immediately sniping blacksmith or whatever that was, and horsemen now coming in, trying to get in from the side, but not really. Might get onto the okay, the royal cannon is in peril here.
So Myriad needed this. This is a great fight for Myriad. Crossbows are going to kite back. Horsemen in pursuit, though. SAS trying to get more reinforcements up there, but might have been a little bit poorly timed there. And this is just what the doctor ordered for Myriad now, and he can focus SAS's army right up the middle as they're retreating. All his reinforcements are coming in, and horsemen are trying to dive on top of these crossbows and on top of these cannons. And SAS just doesn't have enough of a front line.
Yeah, SAS is lacking the front line. There's a couple of horsemen now, but they're chasing the other horsemen, which are just laser focused on the Royal. No, wow! Okay, one more hit. That was super close. So SAS just lost 4 Royal Cannons. That's a ton of value. So that definitely was a game-changing fight here for Myriad. It was not looking good for him, and now it's at least looking okay again. Losing also a bombard on his side, but now it's kind of like turning again with a lot of horsemen here by SAS. Arbalete still standing there, and where is Myriad's army? There's not really any reinforcements coming in here. Just a couple of spearmen, but that's not gonna be
Yeah,
enough.
the problem Myriad ran into is he's got 3 stables, 3 barracks, and like 4 archery ranges. He couldn't reinforce in time, and just when the Randys got to the front lines.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Very well fought, and I was rooting with the last fight. I was rooting for Myriad to come back from this, but yeah, I think I would say that the ego difference was just way too much.
Yeah, Myriad needed to kind of slow the game down, drag it into the late game. You know, he had 5 relics, he had a lot going on his side there, but SAS just, those raids, those horsemen, the much maligned unit that nobody likes to make, coming in clutch for him, just distracting Myriad. Myriad could never focus onto one area, right? He was putting out fires left, right, and center, and SAS just did a really good job of taxing his APM.
Yeah, indeed. And I mean, I'm just amazed by the last fight here. Like, didn't we say that it was good for Myriad, but at the same time it looked so grim, like completely losing everything, like over, yeah, a short amount
Production
of time.
buildings. SAS had the production buildings to reinforce his losses. Myriad did not. I think at the end there, I was looking at it, Myriad had less than 10 total, like, stables, archery ranges,
Mm,
and barracks, and that was kind of the difference.
yeah, yeah, that was definitely the difference, and yeah, well, great game here by SAS taking the first win here on Rocky River. So let's update
So
the draft. Yeah.
that means we're going to go to Myriad's map, which is Dry Arabia, correct?
I believe they can choose. So if they really wanted to, they can pick either map, as far as I know. But
It is Arabia, confirmed.
it is Arabia. Okay. Yes, Dry Arabia next. Let's take a look at the civs. They are
They,
just in draft. Cool.
yeah, they are getting the Stiv picker. So for Dry Arabia, I mean, any of Myriad civs will work very well. You can play Joan of Arc, you can play Byzantines, you can play Chinese. SAS has Rus, and I feel like on Dry Arabia, Rus is likely going to be the civ of his choice on that, and Myriad has to know that. So if you're going against Rus, Byzantines, China, Joan of Arc feels kind of bad because the fast castle into horse archers works really well, and you're kind of banking on getting a good neutral spawn so you can go Chamber of Commerce is usually how I see JD and French play the Rus matchup, but again, spawn dependent. I don't. I think Myriad China here. I think
Hmm,
that's my guess. And
interesting.
SAS is obviously going to go Rus.
Yes, SAS is gonna go roost. There's not really a question. Um,
But I
what?
was wrong about Myriad. He is going for Joan of Arc.
Yeah, so it is gonna be genre of Arc. I do wonder if the am I just seeing that wrong? Like the draft that I put on screen, because SAS had Jeanne d'Arc and Ruse apparently, but that can't be right.
I see SAS with French and Rus.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So
Like
you just
I did I put a let's see.
imported it.
No, I did import it. So let's see. Maybe update graphs. Now it is correct. Okay, yeah, I was super confused about the draft. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, so now it should now it should happen. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm sorry about that. Apparently it got mixed up while importing. Um, but yeah, Myriad indeed had Jeanne d'Arc, and is gonna play it now. So we're gonna see that. I'm gonna hop out of the game, invite you, and then the players should start up the game fairly soon. So, oh, yeah, they're in game apparently, so they should be there.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a little bit of an observer delay here. I have to say, I think this kind of feels advantage Roos. So if Myriad leans too heavy into knights, horse archers are able to kite and really get a lot of value there. Myriad is able to go for range Joan of Arc to kind of get some experience and level it out. And if she can level up and get her riders, they're really good against horse archers, but normally when I see like a French or a JD versus Bruce, I think a la B, where B would go Chamber of Commerce and
Mm.
sort of, play a little macro style game. We have, a 1 minute observer delay, so we'll get you guys to the game as soon as possible. But I feel like this is sort of advantage SAS. Roos just can do everything right here, and has a lot of room to make mistakes. Whereas for JD to win this, I feel like she just has to be played to perfection, which Myriad is very capable of.
Yeah. I like how you're saying that Roos is kind of favored. Well, I'm like, well, yeah, definitely favored. I would say. I mean, I think Jeanne d'Arc is very, very strong. And I really don't like playing against Jeanne d'Arc. But I would say that Roos still has all the cards that they need to make it work. Um, Dry Arabia being a very good balanced map, so I would say there's no real bad matchup for any Civ when it comes to that map. So I don't think that Roos will struggle too much, and both Civs probably gonna go for Pro Scouts as well. Let's jump
Oh.
on pause
But
real
just
quick.
all right, so I want to throw this out here. I'm looking at how these neutrals have spawned, and I think there's a world where we could see Chamber of Commerce for Myriad.
Ooh, I hope that this world is today actually. That would be so cool. But yeah, so SAS playing the rules in blue on the south side. Again, starting with the double hunting cabin opening. He's actually using two. I don't know if that's the standard. I wouldn't do it that way, but then again, I'm not on his level. But going for two hunting cabins with two separate villagers, so we'll have that immediately. And already scouted out the berry patch here as again. And Myriad with Jeanne d'Arc on gold as well here with JD.
So kind of looking at the spawn here, Roos has that forward gold. Not that they really care about that. They're not going to touch that till like 20 minutes into the game. But again, we have another back gold spawn, which is French Jeanne d'Arc players always feels good. Um, it's going to come down to a little bit of Pro Scouts, I think. Does Myriad want to contest Pro Scouts, I wonder? Or just go Chamber of Commerce? He has to contest Pro
He
Scouts,
has
right?
to, yeah.
And yeah,
I mean, even if he goes for Chamber of Commerce, that's fine. He still has to contest it somehow. And the issue with Chamber of Commerce, I feel like, is, I mean, not only that you're losing the free stable in form of the School of Cavalry, but you also, with Jeanne d'Arc, you want to be aggressive. You want to farm that experience as soon as possible. And if you're not having that military aggression on the map, it might be difficult for you to actually farm that experience. Just one real quick thing I wanna point out. So with SAS, he was building the two hunting cabins with two villages, but he also pulled a sheep nearby, and so they don't, like lose the walking time here, but they can just immediately start farming the sheep there. So very nice, nicely done here by him, just putting a sheep there, and then they're busy all the time. Very nicely done.
so the counter argument to what you were just talking about, and Chamber of Commerce hopes were just dashed. We see the School of Cavalry there, but the counter argument is where do you raid Roos? How do you raid Roos? You
Where
know,
and
how do you
how?
farm that XP?
That is the question. Where and how do you raid Roos, huh? Thanks
But
for
it
pointing out
matters
in
not.
chat that the score was messed up. I don't see that in game, but yes, it is correct now. So SAS is up 1-0. Yeah, Roos is kind of difficult to raid actually. Like just because the food is all underneath their town center, they have the wooden fortresses, and they don't really need to go out on the gold immediately, and so yeah, kind of tough to punish them early on for that. School of Cavalry, again, not the Chamber of Commerce, which, yeah, given that she wants to be aggressive and be in on the action, you kind of need to have the School of Cavalry. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm just, thinking back to how I've seen other players handle this Roos Fast Castle build, and I've definitely seen French and Joan of Arc sort of tackle it with the Chamber of Commerce, and it seemed to work fairly well. Myriad obviously is gonna open School of Cavalry. He's gonna look to try to get some damage, try to get Joan of Arc experience, and go for those raiders. And SAS over here, he's just killing Myriad's deer with his plethora of scouts. And he's trying to make Myriad's pro scouting, which is very likely, difficult.
Yeah, we definitely see the macro going either towards Pro Scout here for Jeanne D'Arc, or at least for some couple of early Royal Knights coming out. So 100 wood, and then he's ready to go almost, right? I mean, it's, yeah, 65. Oh, yeah, so French obviously having cheaper techs, right? So,
Look at SAS. SAS just pushing those deer in perfectly to get them just closer so when pro scouts come in, they don't have to walk as far. Tiny little details.
yeah, this is perfection. Like, this is exactly what you want to do. You're still waiting anyway for one or another minute for the pro scouts to come in, so you might as well just push them in closer. And look at that. This is so cool. Like, very nicely done here by him. Also, a little bit of aggression here. Not losing a scout as far as I know, but just, annoying a little bit.
Alright, second night is now out, and pro scouts coming in for Myriad. Jenny, we don't have ranged Joan of Arc. We have Woman at Arms. Starts moving out across the map. And maybe she's looking to farm some scout experience, right? If she could pick off a scout, that's what are they, 60 now?
Yeah, something like
They
that.
are 65, so that's 6 experience.
Ooh, look at that big ass sword of hers. That's super funny. But yeah, getting blocked a little bit by the knight earlier on. But yeah, she really wants to be aggressive and want to get some juicy experience here. So we're not gonna see the the ranged Jeanne d'Arc, but rather the woman at arms in action here, moving in. Which one of the reasons why I don't like playing against Jeanne d'Arc is because so they're going knights, and then you obviously go for spearmen, but Jeanne d'Arc is pretty effective against the spearmen because of the Holy Wrath ability. And so it's just no matter what you do, it always feels so hard playing against Jeanne d'Arc. She's just so annoying. Which great concept. I love the Civ in general, but playing against it just never feels bad. Never feels good for me, I feel.
Yeah, so what you're going to see is horse archers, and your opinion of Jeanne d'Arc is going to change. Myriad, though, poaching a couple of the deer on SAS' side, and because Jenny is there, because the knight is there, and SAS hasn't invested in military, there's really nothing he can do to contest this. He's just going to lose some of his second deer pack there. He's going to move his scouts over, see if maybe he can grab a couple of Myriads, but I think Myriad is going to come out kind of on top by virtue of just having knights on the field and SAS only having scouts, which I think SAS is fine with, at least for now. His castle age is coming in soon, and I take that back. We are seeing spearmen. Interesting.
Huh.
SAS is getting a barracks here. He looks so close to castle age. I just figured we would have seen horse archers.
Well,
Maybe he just doesn't want to wait and lose that many deer. That could be it.
Yeah, that could be it. I mean, the thing is, like, eventually I feel like you will need to have spearmen either way, no matter if you go for the horse archers or not. High trade house coming up here. Um, I feel like that's an interesting choice for a position. I mean, it's great with the deer because it's right underneath your TC, but you're kind of losing out a little bit on the gold income with the trade house, right? Because of the hunting cabins here.
Incorrect. So
Hmm.
the high trade house does not pull from the hunting cabins. So the hunting cabins maintain their 22 and 17 trees, and even though the high trade house overlaps those trees, it just gets them anyway.
Right. Okay. So you see,
So it's not
there's a
claiming trees.
okay. Well, that's good to know. You know, there's a you can tell there's a difference between you and me. Me not knowing things like that, but then again, I'm not a Ruse main, so I don't feel too bad about it. But yeah, good to know that they actually don't overlap. Don't like take from them. Um, so yeah, then it is a good position here with the deer, like close to your town center. That feels very nice indeed.
So I like Myriad's position right here, right now. He's not far off castle. He's got most of the deer packs at this point, and we need to get. Maybe we can ask Cow to do it to do a deer tracker. Maybe wait till the next patch because I hear there's going to be some sort of rework with Pro Scouts. But just
Again.
knowing, all right, Myriad got X deer, SAS got Y, because that's deciding games right now. And I think Myriad is ahead on the deer. I just don't know by how much.
Yeah, the Myriad should definitely be ahead, and if we're looking at all the pink outlines here, that's quite a lot of deer that are just laying here and are ready to be farmed. Um, Speaking of rework, you know what I believe there was in oh yeah, that definitely. So in Age of Empires 2, if you killed a deer or a boar or whatever, it actually depleted over time, even if you didn't gather from it. And so you kind of had to gather fast from it to make it work, and so you cannot just kill it and let it sit there for a while. I think that would be a nice touch to the Pro Scout meta, because then it doesn't really help you, gathering like 20 deer at one point, because you need to gather from it before they expire in a way.
Jenny is farming experience off those spears, but horse archers are starting to build up a little bit of a mass here. They do 12 damage a shot. Jenny's not getting home. Jenny's going to be picked right here. She doesn't move fast enough, and this is why I thought we might see ranged Jenny. She could perform a little better there, but melee Jenny not up to the task here, and the knights are going to get picked out as well.
An
One knight
immediate
goes
buyback here
down.
as well.
Yeah, Myriad needs Jenny to get experience. She's about 33% up, so quite a ways to go. And we do have the guild hall coming down. Seems to be the favorite landmark just because how quickly it can propel you into Imperial Age.
Yeah, I mean,
Sassy.
I personally like the guild hall also a little bit more than the Royal Institute.
It's a timing thing.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. And what timing do you like better? First relic coming in for SAS. Myriad's age up is in, working on veterancy. You see this horseman transition, which is absolutely correct. Horsemen do perform very well against horse archers. They can dive on top of it.
Yeah, they're
And do a lot
faster,
of
they're
damage.
doing bonus damage, and so overall, it's definitely a good choice here. And neither player has a scout here, so they're just barely missing each other here. And now Myriad is seeing that there's two horse archers, is moving on top of them, getting 24 XP here now. That's very nice.
Right on Myriad's gold though. Myriad a little slow. One Vil goes down, second Vil goes down. He's gonna lose probably these
That's
last two right there. Painful. Couple horse archers go down, but losing 5 villagers just like that doesn't feel good.
No, especially in the early game. You see, it's like 36 to 41 right now, so Jeanne D'Arc doesn't have the faster production speed as the French do. So that's one of the differences here. And then you lose 5, so that means you're exactly down 5 villagers. Also, one thing that I saw in a video today about Jeanne D'Arc, which never occurred to me, you're actually losing a villager when Jeanne D'Arc ages up or levels up to level 2, right? So it's like she starts as a villager, but then you lose her as a villager, so you actually go down 1 villager even more.
That is correct. Another villager going down at Myriad's gold. Second one, those horse archers just raiding, harassing. Myriad bringing horsemen over to put that threat to an end, but he's down 7 villagers on his gold alone.
Yeah, that must feel very painful. And the thing is with Dry Arabia, depending on where the woodlands and all that spawn, it's a very open map here. Like there's not really a good way to wall it off unless you really invest a lot into that in terms of resources. And SAS, for example, just like a small wall, relatively small wall, and then he is gonna be safe for the time being. There is gonna be a volatile attempt here, but not gonna be enough for the horsemen, but still 2 and 1 more relic on the way, so 3 relics for now on SAS' side, and the other 2 relics are fairly close to him as well, although he will not get that one.
Yeah, SAS moving out to the relic that just Wololold got spearmen, has horse archers, and has a perfect comp to kind of defend this. Warrior Monk is on his way over. Sassy's going to wind up with 4 relics to Myriad's 1. So, advantage SAS right now. More spearmen kind of coming over, and this is a good sort of comp here. Spearman, horse archer. It's not as mobile as you would like, but Myriad leaning so heavy into horsemen, spears just going to absolutely murder the horsemen.
Yeah, you need spearmen, otherwise there's pretty much no way out to defend against all those horsemen, and even as it is, it's still difficult enough. Jeanne D'Arc can heal up the units, she can again like go right onto the spearmen, deal quite a lot of damage there, doesn't take too much damage from the spearmen as well, and the horsemen now really in trouble here, almost getting surrounded here by the horsemen. Couple of spearmen, but not gonna be really enough to effectively deal with the horsemen. Now Town Center is gonna help out here a little bit.
Yeah, Myriad though losing all of his military in this fight. Jenny horsemen forced to retreat. 10 horse archers are giving chase. Does SAS know where Jenny ran off to? No, he does not. Jenny leveling up though. Think she's gonna be able to call her riders, and yeah, that is what Myriad has elected to go with, the riders. And when they do hit the field, click on them. They have a lot of ranged armor. They are really good at killing horse archers. They're really good at killing a lot of archers. You don't see them too often, but in this situation, they're really good.
Yeah, they're definitely strong units, and not like your regular horsemen, that is for sure. We do see walls coming up here on the left side from Myriad, which is, yeah, also securing the gold here, the berries, and the trade post if he opts to go for a trade. Lonely horseman getting picked off here. But overall, SAS is still ahead in villagers. His army numbers are looking good, looking healthy here. A good almost 1-to-1 comp between horse archers and spearmen.
Yeah, Sassy's going for the kill here. I think he sensed the weakness. Myriad has a couple of crossbows, but just not enough. And these spearmen are going to do a lot of work. Holy Wrath, though, does some good damage. Jenny being microed around and protected. Horse archers are nowhere nearby. SAS gets pushed back just a little bit, but not much. And now you kind of see SAS transitioning into knights.
Yeah, and unfortunately SAS was like, so he split off his army, took away the horse archers, but they were not really able to find anything except for one single villager that was building the wall. So he didn't have the horse archers close to the army, to the fight where it happened, and so the spearmen were not as effective as they could have been.
Dawn Riders tracking down a couple of these horse archers. Spearmen come to intercept, pushing them back. And Myriad, not really stabilized, but looking a little bit better for him than it did a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yes, I think he would need to have a second town center at some point, or maybe even going into trade if he wants to get ahead with his eco in that way. But overall, I
Yeah,
think the units should still do fairly well against Myriad's composition. I mean, the horse archers should do kind of okay against the outer trees, and then the spearmen obviously countering the horsemen pretty hard. Just needs to have his army in one place here. The spearmen are kind of, killing a couple horsemen, but then getting sacrificed again, I feel like. Ooh, nice raid here, by
nice
the way.
raid on the gold. SAS picks off another villager on the gold. That's 10 worker kills. Meanwhile, he's got his second TC up and running, and due to these walls, I don't think Myriad scouted it.
No, I doubt that he knows about that. I mean, it just came up here, and don't think, yeah, I don't think he knows about that, and that will get him ahead even more. And meanwhile,
no.
Myriad is on 1 TC still. There's another raid coming in here, and could be
Horse
difficult.
archers. Alright, couple of Arbiter over to kinda attempt to kill the horse archers, but that's 18 villagers, now 17 horse archers are just murdering them as they go, and Myriad is trying to, stem the bleeding here, but ton of value.
That is a ton of value. And 18, 19, it should go up to 20 villager kills here. 21. There's no end to this. And so yeah, I mean, now he will lose all those horse archers, but he's getting another villager kill here. That should barely survive here, but 23 villagers to 0. SAS is completely walled in right now. His eco is stabilized. He's on 2 TCs, almost double the villager number. Has 4 of the relics. Sacred sites are kind of like being traded back and forth, so that's kind of hard to count them in or account for them, but in general also ahead in that regard. So yeah, definitely not looking good for Myriad right now. I mean, what are his options? He could at some point go to Imperial Age and try to win with a higher tech, but he doesn't have the eco for that right now. I mean, can you go Imp with 40 villagers? That's the question, right?
He can't go Imp because he just cashed in his guild hall.
Oh, right, yeah.
So he has no resources there. He's making a hard shift towards stone. This is probably going to be 2 or 3 TCs. By now he probably sensed, even though he didn't scout it, that SAS is on 2 TCs. So he's probably going to go for 3 to catch up. But SAS, I don't think, is going to give him that kind of time.
No, that's the thing, like SAS doesn't sleep either, and so he can just take the sacred sites now. He has 2 right now. The one in the middle is kind of open, but he could go for, he has a couple of stone outcroppings in his base. He could go for some keeps himself and then secure the middle sacred site, and then even try to, pressure the sacred win a little bit. He could secure the gold if he has a keep clear by. And yeah, so he will not give Myriad the time to recover. I would expect, at least.
Yeah, another night raid in the back of Myriad's base, and 1 villager going down. Arbiter's coming over to try to take that knight out, but he might get another villager before he goes down. 26 total kills, 40 to 77. I do see the second town center coming down from Myriad. He's 40 stone off of a 3rd town center, so maybe he's thinking he only needs 1?
I kind of hope that he goes for more than 1 additional town center, because it's literally 2 to 1 right now in terms of villagers, and like how do you come back from that? Oh, that's really difficult. Losing another villager here, maybe not.
I'll be honest with you. I am not sure you do. SAS kind of in control. He can go imp if he wants. He can switch into stealthy if he wants. He can continue to play castle. Kind of looks like he's finishing out his farm transition. And once that's done, SAS will kind of make his decision as to how he wants to play this. But kind of looks like he's going to be the one who decides how this one's going to end.
Yeah,
Whether
yeah.
it's going to be sooner or later.
I think that's safe to say for sure. And if SAS would opt for Imperial Age now, I don't think there's hardly anything that Myriad can do. I mean, he did grow quite a nice number of military units now, so army value is pretty even. But SAS also was able to scout out the second TC with the one remaining horse archer, so he knows that his opponent is on two TCs, which shouldn't worry him, but it's nice to know about that for sure. We see a lot of siege units now on the field here for SAS as well, and the mangonels should deal quite effectively with the arbalestries.
Yeah, looks like SAS has decided now is when he wants to end this. He's kind of moving out. You see him sort of spending his resources, sort of not really imp level resources just yet, but he's got 1,500 food a minute, 1,000 gold a minute. He can go imp at any point. Just needs to make that decision. Meanwhile, Myriad exhausting a lot of the food on his side of the map here. Gonna have to do a farm transition. You see that kind of slowly coming in. But yeah, not very two different stages of this game. Both players here.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. Warrior monks still being super annoying here, but Abadetres can still deal with that, so it shouldn't be an issue here for now for Myriad. But SAS is moving in now, so yeah, he definitely spent most of his food. He's floating a little bit of gold just because he has more income than he needs right now. And ooh, good shot by Mangonels, but Myriad was able to react in time, not losing any more villagers on that. But now he has the issue with the forward production buildings here. And that's gonna be the game deciding fight here. Switching into the cinematic mode. Could be difficult for Myriad to maneuver around here, around the buildings. Mangonel setting up to fire on the arbalestries, getting a nice shot there as well. Archery range going down here, so Myriad losing more and more production buildings. Villagers on the run here. Needs to be careful to not lose too much, but at the same time, like, what do you do in a situation? Another building going down. He kind of needs to fight it as soon as possible. He can't risk to lose anymore here.
Yeah, Myriad doesn't have the comp right now to take this fight and win. SAS is in the perfect comp. Spear, crossbow, mango. There's not a lot. Those mangoes are just pounding away at the crossbows, and Myriad's down to 8 crossbows. He doesn't have enough. More spears coming in on reinforcement. Horsemen now from Sassy, and mangoes are just wreaking havoc on what once was Myriad's back line. And I think in a few minutes here, we're going to see GG get called.
Yeah, I don't even think it's gonna be a few minutes actually. I mean, Myriad is down to 2 military count. Miniature count is 2-1 still, so there's really no way for him to come back from this one. And there it is.
Yeah, that's rough. Good game gets called here.
Wow.
To be fair, Roos right now kind of in that position where it can do anything. It can pro scout, it can fast castle, and it's really a civ that's positioned so well in the current meta that it's an uphill battle against Roos.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with the pro scouts, and then on top of that, you have the horse archers, which are really strong as well. It's really difficult to deal effectively with them, and if you're not careful, they can just run away. Um, yeah.
Yeah, and those horse archers, right? So you look,
Oh my
you see
goodness.
SAS kind of hit Castle Age, and then a short time later, probably 5 6 minutes later, you start seeing Myriad bleeding villagers, and that's because the horse archers are so good at raiding, and you have to be vigilant for them. And if they dive on top of any eco, they're getting a lot of kills, and
Yeah,
that's precisely what happened.
yeah, pretty much. And I mean, you can tell just by the amount of villagers that Myriad lost. His eco was bleeding the whole game almost. Up to like starting at like 8 minutes and then like all the way to the end. And in terms of gathered resources, SAS almost like if you're looking at the at the bars here, almost having twice as many resources